fantastic opportunities to use new technologies to secure the American people and at the same time be better stewards of the environment.
You have questions, we have answers.
Listen carefully.
You can't really be against hydrofracking and say you're an environmentalist because immediately the default options are fuels that are much less clean.
For the next hour, Shawn Wilson explores the energy industry with news and interviews from around the corner and around the globe.
Nuclear is one of the directions that we should innovate in.
The Exploring Energy Show begins now.
And a very, very good, finally, Friday morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Exploring Energy Radio Show. Foggy out there. Be safe. Be careful. Make sure your lights are on. Not all vehicles have the automatic lights, so be sure so people can see you because it's froggy out there. Here's what's on the menu at Elk City Meals on Wheels on this 5th day of December. They're located at 1510 West 9th Street. Calling your order, 225-5821. Dining room hours are from Monday through Friday, 11 to 1 p.m. $8 for a regular meal. Senior citizens meals, just $7. Everybody is welcome today. Turkey wraps, potato chips, salad, and dessert. That's what's on the menu at Elk City Meals on Wheels. Turkey wraps, potato chips, salad, and dessert. Last night, Percy Dale Walker's Christmas concert netted about $3,800 in donations for the Heart to Heart Pregnancy Care Center and also United Fund. They also help fund the Elk City Meals on Wheels program. So, for everyone who participated in that last night, thank you. Benefit garage sale today and tomorrow. Started at 8 o'clock right now, right down by DJ's Rentals, right next door to DJ's Rentals on South Main Street. It's a benefit garage sale 2.0 for Diamond Hernandez. Diamond's undergoing treatment for a rare aggressive cancer at MD Anderson in Houston, Texas. 100% of the proceeds goes to Diamond. They're going to be there today and tomorrow, the 5th and 6th, from 8 a.m. to whenever. 909 South Main Street in Elk City, next door to DJ's Rental. Go on down and help that cause as well. Nominate a hero. Tell us their story on KECOFM.com. Who's that neighbor, teacher, or volunteer who always shows up, who goes above and beyond? Nominate them as Santa's Christmas hero on KECO. Winners get a $250 prize from KECO sponsor. We'll share photos on Facebook. Deadline to entry or to submit their stories December 23rd, 11:59 p.m. Enter at KECOFM.com. This Christmas, help us spotlight Western Oklahoma's quiet do-gooders. Nominate a hero, KECOFM.com. And Friends of the Carnegie Library, bringing the Carnegie Caravan, books on wheels. 3 books delivered right to you in the Elk City area. Friends of the Library, call them at 225-0136. If you're having trouble reading regular print, ask them about their free program that can help. And today is Donut Friday at the station, Amy Donuts. Stopped by there this morning, got me some donuts, got me some of those sausage and cheese kolaches. So good. So good. Highly recommend them. They're right there on North Van Buren, 301 North Van Buren. They're open Monday through Sunday, 4:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you have specialty donut orders, you can call those in at 580-303-7203. Try some of their smoothies. They got boudin. They got boudin wraps, the kolaches there. So tell them we sent you. It is Amy Donuts, 301 North Van Buren in Elk City. Skinny's over there with the Elk City girls at the children's tournament, unable to, he doesn't know for sure what time they play yet, so he's going to give me that information. If I have it before the end of the show, I'll let you know. We got some Paragon TV games going on tonight as well. Going to have Scott Mason with the EPA, the regional administrator of the EPA South Central region. He's going to be joining me in a couple segments here this morning as well. Get right to it here on this finally Friday morning. Some of the commodity prices slipping down just a little bit, down 14 cents as West Texas Intermediate on the New York Mercantile Exchange, January contract, trading at $59.53 a barrel. Brent crude oil down 9 cents, trading at $63.17 a barrel. That's a February contract there. Philcom crude oil in Japan down 70 yen per kiloliter, December contract. Yeah, check this out, folks. New York Mercantile Exchange natural gas up 20 cents, trading at $5.26 per million BTU. That's a January 2026 contract there for the New York Mercantile Exchange. Refined products, they're all up, just a skosh anyway. RBOB gasoline up 16 cents to 182.87. Heating oil in the New York Mercantile Exchange. These are both January contracts, up $4.72 to $235.09. Gas oil up $14 per metric ton to $680 a metric ton. That is a December contract there on the gas oil. So some of your commodity prices that are happening there. Okay. Well, Citgo's sale finally approved in the courts. This has been a long-running legal saga, no doubt about it. The long-running legal saga surrounding the future of Houston-based Citgo Petroleum reached a major turning point after a federal judge approved the company's $5.9 billion sale to Amber Energy. The decision follows years of litigation, global political implications, competing bids, and a highly watched court-supervised auction process. The U.S. District Court Leonard P. Stark, that judge, District Court of Delaware, issued the approval after overseeing one of the largest court-ordered assessment sales in modern history, according to the Houston Public Media. The ruling moves Amber Energy closer to completing the acquisition in, 2026. Pending procedural steps, of course, regulatory clearances, and final settlement of outstanding claims. But Citgo had been the center of this legal conflict because it's owned by PDV Holding, a U.S.-based subsidiary of the Venezuelan state-run oil company Petroles de Venezuela, S.A. The Venezuelan government's debts and defaulted obligations prompted numerous creditors to pursue Citgo, one of Venezuela's most valuable foreign assets. Houston Public Media noted that earlier court rulings determined Citgo's shares could be auctioned to compensate a Canadian mining company owed billions by Venezuela's Petroles de Venezuela. That judgment opened the door for additional creditors to lead to a complex multi-round auction process supervised by the Delaware court. The process required coordination among the U.S. government's and creditor groups, court-appointed officials, and Citgo leadership. Bids were vetted prior to. I'm going to guess that this is our guest calling in, Scott Mason. Glad to be able to talk to him. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break and come back with Scott Mason the fourth. He's the EPA Regional Administrator for our area. We'll have that and more as the Finally Friday edition of the Exploring Energy Radio Show continues right after this.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
You know why people like going out to eat? It's a little treat for them. They get to leave the house and go somewhere else and have somebody else cook the food and serve it to them and clean up afterward. All you got to do is pay and leave.
I know a lady that makes it at Janice's Cafe. We go out there and eat all the time. You know why? It's not at home, and it's better than what we cook. You know, one of my favorite things to eat at Janice's Cafe? Catfish. It's good. It's got the crispy breading. Oh, it's like they made it with love, with a little bit more love on top of it.
Bacon cheeseburger.
Best bacon cheeseburger in the business. Name another one.
Mushroom and Swiss.
Best mushroom burger there is ever. Janice's Cafe can make all those burgers for. Of course, they got burgers. Got the best burgers you can have.
Do you think more people drink sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Well, you know what I am.
Half and half.
Half sweet, half unsweet. Janice is located on the south side of Elk City, where you go into the movie theater, right there next to Arby's. You'll be able to find it because there's a big old sign up there that says Janice's Cafe.
Craving a real steak? Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City is firing up flavors 7 days a week. The grill is always hot, and the steaks are always fresh. From juicy char-grilled ribeyes, fillets, and sirloins, to chicken fried steak, hearty burgers, seafood, and chicken. There's something for everyone. Don't forget the appetizers, salads, and desserts to top it off. Bring your appetite. We'll handle the rest. Dine in or order online now on the DoorDash app. It's more than just a steakhouse. It's Fred's.
You got 5, 6 tractors out there. You got a dozer, a traco, a grader, something like that. I mean, you go through a lot of oil in the season. I mean, you'll use a few hundred gallons in the season. So here at Camrock, we have the same specification oil as the other brand where people think that they have to use that for a certain color on their tractors and stuff like that. But we have the same oil specifications as they do. Works just as well, does the same thing, lubes it just the same. Price comparison is, it's not even a comparison. We have a better price than anybody around on that type of oil. They can come in and talk to us, see what they want, or give us a call, and we can come out, see what they have, fill their tanks, set them tanks. That's what we've done here in the past. We've converted a lot of farmers over to our brand, our house brand of motor diesel oil. The price savings it's huge for them. We sell it to oilfield companies also. They use it in frac pumps. And they're not happy, you know it, and it's working great for them. Camrock is the name of the company. It's 2111 South Main, Elk City, south of Fred's Steakhouse. The price savings it's huge for them.
Hey folks, this is EJ Gretaman with ASCO Equipment out of Elk City, Oklahoma. If you need rental equipment, I got your back. From excavators to wheel loaders, telehandlers, and forklifts, we rent the brands that you know and trust. With flexible terms, responsible service, and expert support, we're here to keep your job on track. Need equipment? We're on it here at ASCO Equipment. Visit ASCOEQ.com or stop by our Elk City branch, 513 West 20th here in Elk City, Oklahoma, or you can just give me a call, 580-243-9233. Appreciate it, folks, and y'all have a blessed day.
Need a trip hopper, feed buggy, or cattle chute? Call Barnes Feed Service in Hobart, Oklahoma, 580-726-2120.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
This show brought to you in part by Sustaining Oklahoma's Energy Resources, part of the Oklahoma Energy Resources Board, the OERB. Sustaining Oklahoma's Energy Resources continues to educate our teachers, our educators, our high school students through STEM programs, and our employees in the oil and gas industry. Just had that big Midstream 101 conference yesterday, or live video feed or in person. So they have a bunch of things that they're doing. If you'd like to find out what's going on at Sustaining Oklahoma's Energy Resource, and I'd like to remind you, this is a self-funded program through oil and gas producers. This isn't a taxpayers don't pay for this. So this is really good. And education is the key in anything. Sustaining Oklahoma's Energy Resources continues that education. Go to www.soer.oerb online to find out more. That's soer, soer.oerb.com. David Allen Guest, Certified Mineral Manager. If you're looking for help with your mineral and royalty management, David Allen Guest is your guy. He's a guy you can trust, and I guarantee you can trust he knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for himself and others for nearly 50 years now. David has the experience to help navigate through every aspect of it, and most of all, he'll get you the most out of your royalties. That's a biggie. Get you the most out of your royalties. And he's a man of integrity, a guy you'll be glad you're doing business with. And if you find yourself in a situation to liquidate or sell, David is also a buyer of royalties from estates, probates, trusts, and bankruptcies. And I'm telling you straight up, you don't want somebody to take advantage of you in that situation. Call him today, 405-341-8698. Or look him up on the intraweb. David Allen Guest, Certified Mineral Manager, and American Hose and Supply. Why not go to those who know hose? Keeping your machinery and your equipment running, that's the only way you can continue to make money. When they go down, you quit making money. They can supply you ahead of time. American Hose and Supply can take care of you at that current moment. They'll help you do either one of them. American Hose and Supply, inside the Camrock building next to Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City. Call 303-1123. 303-1123. It just makes sense to go to those who know hose. All right, let's get right to our guest this morning. And he's a young man that grew up in this neck of the woods. Good morning, Scott Mason, Regional Director, South Central Region for the United States. And Scott, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Shawn. Happy Friday. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Getting closer to Christmas just every day.
Yes,
so Scott, been 300 days, man, and
that's right.
So many things have happened on the EPA side. Just where would you like to start, buddy?
Well, you're exactly right. We are really rocking and rolling in this administration. President Trump, with his Powering the Great American Comeback, and Administrator Zeldin leading the charge on that from our headquarters in Washington, and then us out here in the region, South Central United States. I'm very blessed to be able to lead Region 6, which consists of the states of Arkansas, New Mexico, Louisiana, Oklahoma and Texas, and then we have 66 tribal nations in this area. And at the end of the day, it's being responsible for the federal environmental protection of 50 million Americans. So with all that said, there is a lot going on, and in this region and throughout the country with the U.S. EPA and what we're doing in the Trump administration. And you've probably heard of a few of these things. That you might have heard about the CAFE standards and vehicle tailpipe emissions that the president just rolled back day before yesterday, which was huge. And, what that was doing was essentially forcing folks to have to buy the end goal, I think, for what was occurring there was to force people to eventually just throw their hands up on gasoline-powered vehicles and eventually have to drive all electric. And we're all about choice in this administration. If you want to buy an electric vehicle and drive one, by all means, feel free. But if you want to continue to drive your gasoline or diesel-powered vehicle, then you should have that choice as well. And so, at the end of the day, it's about common sense. If you want to know our environmental policy in the Trump administration, it's pretty simple, and it's common sense. It's protection that empowers rather than restricts, regulation that clarifies rather than complicates, and it's an approach that the environment and the economy are partners rather than adversaries. What a novel concept, being partners rather than adversaries. But, you have the CAFE standards vehicle tailpipe that was just announced the other day. I think you know this one very well, but this actually was discussed and occurred in western Oklahoma, of all places on earth, and this is just the power of what can happen if the government will listen to you, and this government did under President Trump and Administrator Zeldin, and it's the deaf issue that you might recall the last time I was on Exploring Energy. We had a roundtable in Burns Flat and had a lot of area farmers and ranchers, Farm Bureau, State Ag Secretary Blaine Arthur. We all got together and, we came in, asked, hey, what are ways that EPA can work with you? What are ways that EPA can help you as the agriculture sector? And by far, Shawn, the number one issue that day was, hey, please do something about DEF, the diesel exhaust fluid. And so we took that back to Washington immediately, started working with the administrator, with our Office of Air and Radiation, and they in turn started working with manufacturers. So what will occur now is model year 2027 diesel-powered vehicles will all have a much slower D-rate. So you're not going to have that automatic D-rate that occurs now. This is going to buy you weeks to get the job done if you're in the middle of a field on a tractor or you're a first responder or whatever the issue may be. Anybody, I think truly that anyone who drives a diesel-powered vehicle will be very pleased, and frankly, we're already starting to hear how grateful farmers and ranchers and others are that drive these diesel vehicles, that we actually listen to them, and we're working to try to do something about it. AI, that's another big area we're working on. WOTUS, I think you probably know a thing or two about that. I always like to say that my stock tank out at my farm in western Oklahoma is not at waters of the United States. It's not. As much as the Biden administration and the Democrats would have loved for that to have occurred and tried to, we are returning the definition of WOTUS to a clear, common sense, durable definition as was intended by the Supreme Court decision on Sackett in 2023.
Right.
That will provide a lot more clarity. In the past, it's been in previous administrations, they're trying to control this from their perch in the nation's capital. And frankly, as you know, that just doesn't fly with folks in western Oklahoma or anywhere else, frankly, in my region or throughout the country. So we have proposed this new rule, and we have some listening sessions coming up. And so, that's just a small example. I could go on and on. Brownfields grants, where we are issuing grants to previous industrial sites throughout Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's received about $6 million that's gone to different municipalities, a few tribes, to give them this money to revitalize and bring in economic development. A great example for what a brownfield site is, I know a lot of people in Elk City and western Oklahoma are familiar with downtown Oklahoma City and the Bricktown area. Bricktown is a former industrial site that was a brownfield site, and you see what's happened there. I mean, it's one of the greatest places in the country for a model project of what can be done when former dilapidated sites are turned into something with this economic development money.
Profitable, yeah.
And it's all about cleaning up the environment and protecting jobs and revitalizing the economy.
Scott, I'm glad you brought that up about Bricktown because, a lot of people that see that for the first time, they have no clue what that area used to look like.
That's right.
You avoided that area at all costs. And then all of a sudden they just started developing it, and it's just it continues to flourish and thrive. And you're right, that is a wonderful model. But the other thing I wanted to get back to is, you had that round table, and then not only did you get some ideas of what people really needed, you took those ideas and took them to the next level, and now we have action upon that. And I'm telling you straight up, that's government gets a lot of bad raps, but this is something that I really appreciate you bringing to our show this morning, because a lot of people, they get this concept about government, and then they don't realize that there is a lot of good things that are going on. But, the EPA, they carried a different staff under the last administration, and it was a staff that they weren't afraid to swing in any direction, and they didn't care who they hit with it. This administration is the two words that keep standing out: common sense, Scott.
Yes, sir. Well, you're exactly right. We are finally crushing the shackles of Biden's disastrous energy-killing policies, his green scams, and at the end of the day, we're replacing them with smart pro-growth rules that actually put America first, bringing back jobs to America through common sense, and a lot of that is because of environmental regulations. At the end of the day, the EPA's reach is vast, and so this agency has enormous consequences depending on who the leadership is in this country. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that, but it truly matters. And you're seeing what can happen when a common sense approach is taken by President Trump and Administrator Zeldin and myself here in the region, working in tandem to carry that out and just listen to people. I mean, if at the end of the day, if you take one thing away this morning, I want folks to know that this EPA and this government under President Trump is listening to the everyday man out there on the street. And again, I sound like a broken record, but I go back to that roundtable in Burns Flat, like you mentioned. That's a prime example of government listening to the people and working with them to carry that out and make things happen. And I'll go a step further. There were several farmers there who, at the end of the day, the farmers and ranchers, and I was at the American Association of Professional Landmen conference yesterday in Oklahoma City. I use this as an example, but farmers and ranchers, the oil and gas industry, these folks are the ones who are the experts. It's not us in government. And so if we can listen to the experts, that's what we should be doing. And so a couple of those farmers that were at that round table, we actually brought in to discussions with our headquarters team so that they could hear firsthand what was happening and bring their thoughts and ideas directly to them. So you actually had farmers and ranchers from western Oklahoma giving direct input, not just at the round table, but working with our Office of Air in Washington, D.C. to share the concerns of how this diesel exhaust fluid has presented so many issues.
That is fantastic. Scott Mason, the fourth regional administrator of the EPA South Central Region. We're going to continue our visit, but before I go to this break, did you see Billy Bob Thornton at the Landman Convention? I was just curious.
I didn't. The Lieutenant Governor, Matt Pinnell, and I were joking that neither of us are as big of fans of the TV show Landman as we are of Tulsa King, just because we're both Oklahomans, obviously. So.
No, I'm sure Destiny Weeks, you might have come across her up there. She's a prolific landman or landwoman, if you will. Okay, Scott, appreciate you, man. Again, Scott, a Cordell native, and we are going to continue our visit with Scott Mason, the fourth regional administrator of the EPA South Central Region, right after this. Stick around, won't you?
The Exploring Energy Show.
If you've been waiting to try learning a new language with Babbel, now is the time. For just a few more days, you can unlock all of the languages on Babbel with a lifetime subscription at our largest discount of the year. Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember. Plus, Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And with a lifetime access to all of Babbel's languages, lessons, podcasts, and cultural insights, just imagine what you can do, or rather, where you could go. So if you've been putting off booking that culinary cruise through Spain for fear of mispronouncing paella, get Babbel now, before our biggest sale of the season ends. Where will Babbel take you? Find out at Babbel.com. Y una cosa más. This is your last chance, because our biggest sale of the year ends on December 7th. For just a few more days, you can get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Help us celebrate Black Friday all month long at Wendy Nissan with great deals on new and used vehicles with nearly 200 to choose from, interest rates as low as 0%, payments as far out as 90 days, payments as low as $199 a month on select used vehicles. We truly have a little bit of something for everybody. We've got brand new Frontiers with 6-inch lift kits, leveling kits, off-road wheels and tires, cold air intakes, exhaust. We have used cars as low as $69.99, gas mileage as much as 40 miles per gallon on brand new Nissan Versa. Rebates as high as $5,000 plus discount off new Murano and new Nissan Pathfinder. It's Black Friday all month long right here at Wendy Nissan in Elk City, Oklahoma, your hometown dealer. Wendy Nissan is now offering Sunbit financing in our service department for service tickets as low as $400 or up to $10,000. Interest rates starting as low as 0% and finance terms as long as 72 months at Wendy Nissan, your hometown dealer. Black Friday all month long.
So if your farmer need a hose built, you can come in, we'll build it. Oilfield customer and need us to come out and see you, we'll come out and see you and take an order or pick up a hose, build it, bring it back to you. Solves that problem. I'm Brock Kalk and my company is American Hose and Supply. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings, oilfield or agriculture. You needed a hose like yesterday. We will stop what we're doing, and if we got to go to our Oklahoma City shop and get it, we'll do that. And I've done that for a lot of my customers. The business I've done with the Oilfield, they got to see your face. Whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever the customer prefers, that's what we're going to do. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings. In the Oilfield, sometimes you get a call for a crazy, hey, can you get this? And you go find it for them. American Hose and Supply. Come by and see us at 2111 South Main, Elk City, Oklahoma, in Camrock Building next to Fred's.
Or call 303-1123.
Solves that problem.
A guy in Altus buys an RV from a fellow in El Reno. The transaction came about through the penny news. The power of the penny news is a force of nature.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
Show brought to you in part by Camrock Supply. Farmers use a lot of oil every season. Oilfield companies use a lot of oil all the time. Camrock's oil is the same specifications, lubricates the same as the designer brands, but Camrock's oil costs a lot less. Folks who use a lot of oil save a lot of money with Camrock. It's a very simple process. Camrock Supply on South Main Street in Elk City next to Fred's Steakhouse. Online, Camrock Supply, CAMRockSupply.com. Locations in Elk City, Oklahoma City, Midland, Texas, and Ulysses, Kansas. 3 local guys with local ties doing business with their communities. DCP Services is a diversified oil field company offering the right services with the right people on the job. Now, this company sprung forth down in Dill City, just west of Cordell. Jeff Davis and his wife, Terry, they have a roustabout division, a lease operators division, a wireline division, both braided and slick line capabilities, and their DCP pump repair shop in Cordell continues to push out those newly rebuilt pumps. DCP Services, find Jeff Davis on the Facebook or call him 770-0501. Look for DCP Services on Facebook. Jeff Davis, 580-660-0501. And Fred's Steakhouse, home of the famous $4.99 chicken fried steak served daily, hand battered with country gravy and house-made mashed potatoes. They have numerous side options available, along with fresh salads, soup of the day, freshly baked rolls made in their daily in-house bakery, 7 kinds of chicken, also seafood, freshwater catfish, appetizers sure to please everyone. Cap off your dining experience with fresh in-house made desserts. They also have a full-service bar, your favorite cocktails, wines, drinks, specialty drinks, all and ice-cold beer. Fred's Steakhouse can host your private event located at 2107 South Main Street in Elk City, at exit 38 off I-40. 243-2100. Call them at 243-2100. You can order online, the Chow Now app, open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Going to continue our visit here with Scott Mason IV, an Oklahoma native who is now the regional administrator of the EPA South Central region. And we've covered a few things. Scott, I know common sense comes into play, but right now, President Trump's trying to keep the United States in with electricity. And you got these environmental groups like, hey, you're killing Americans. And Trump's like, hey, listen, I'm keeping Americans warm. He's got some new, it's about the coal-fired power plants that the Brandon administration tried to completely shut down. Can you expound on that a little bit, sir?
Yeah, the Brandon administration.
Sorry about that.
So, we are focused. In fact, it's one of the 5 core pillars that we're focused on, restoring American energy dominance. And that seeks to achieve multiple goals to better, at the end of the day, protect the environment, but also spur the economy and safeguard our national security. And thanks to really a lot of folks in western Oklahoma and throughout our state, and certainly in our 5-state EPA Region 6 region, American ingenuity and resourcefulness, energy tapped here is far cleaner than that produced overseas. I don't have to tell you all that. And at the end of the day, that better protects the environment. So by producing more energy, more jobs will be created, costs for energy will be cut. And so instead of restricting American ingenuity, this administration is empowering our states and our industries by embarking on the largest deregulation effort in the history of the country. And that goes right in line with what you're talking about with the coal-powered plants. And so we have already proposed to repeal the Biden-era regulations for new and existing power plants, and we're also in the process of reconsidering the existing regulations on the oil and gas sector, and one of those is the vehicle tailpipe standards that I mentioned a little bit earlier. Well, we're also reconsidering guidelines around exceptional events and recent rules for hazardous air pollutants, along with the most recent PM NACs, the regional haze, and then that deal called the Good Neighbor Plan rules. So really, based on concerns that we have been hearing for months now from a variety of stakeholders, we're looking at the methane rules, also known as Quad O, B, and C. This was a big conversation yesterday at our Petroleum Landman, American Association of Professional Landman Conference in Oklahoma City. Big discussion around that, and providing them with more realistic timelines for the owners and operators of those new and modified oil and gas sources. And we've extended the final rule, the compliance deadlines, and at the end of the day, we are looking for a more durable and common sense solution that cuts the red tape and really just provides a lot more regulatory certainty. I have been to the Permian Basin now more times in these 11 months now that I've been in office than any other regional administrator in the history of the agency. And the one theme that continues to come up every time I walk away from there is regulatory certainty. Please provide regulatory certainty. So we are focused on making our rules and regulations so tight that you don't get the back and forth that you have continued to get as administrations change. And so we're hoping that we're really making a dent in that, and I believe that we are. Again, but it goes back to meeting extensively with the energy stakeholders and working to develop these rules and regulations that are more durable to that industry. And again, it goes back to listening, common sense.
well, communication, education. You know,
That's right.
I appreciate your willingness to go down there because, you know, it's a lot easier for the, previous administrators to say, well, they got this, or that what you called, consistent regulation. I mean, this up and down stuff like, hey, this is legal now, it's not, yada, yada, yada. And then, actually using regulations as law, and it's just,
yes.
And then interpretations and those kind of things. But when you go down and you talk to the people with the boots on the ground, the people that are in the industry, you get a lot better handle. Because I've often said, the farther those who make decisions that affect those people are from the people that those decisions affect, the worst decisions are made because they don't give a rip. They don't care. They don't educate themselves in what is happening. We got this AI situation, and before I get you off the phone, I wanted to talk to you about that because that's a big concern, not only here in Oklahoma, but in your entire region, I'm sure. What role will EPA play in the advancement of those type situations?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. We've got to be talking about artificial intelligence and making sure that the United States is the artificial intelligence capital of the world. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. That has got to be a focus, and I'm proud to say that is the fourth pillar in our 5 pillars. That 5 things we're working on. That's number 4, and that's ensuring that data centers and related facilities can be operated with clean American-made energy to support U.S. leadership in artificial intelligence. We're in the thick, as you know, of a race to develop artificial intelligence, and under this administration, not only are we aiming to dominate energy, but we're also aiming to make the United States the AI capital of the world. And it's important that we lead the world in AI for a variety of reasons, including national security.
Right.
I actually receive frequent intelligence briefings, and I can attest that the slower that America goes in this race to become the AI capital of the world, the more uncertainty and risk exists that nations like China are going to leapfrog us. And so AI development requires infrastructure like data centers, which can range from, we've seen 5,000 square foot facilities to massive 100,000 square foot plus hyperscale facilities. They require robust water resources for cooling systems. This was another big topic yesterday in Oklahoma City. Companies are investing billions of dollars. They're building these data centers around the country, and my Region 6 states are getting the bulk, the large share of that. Yeah, they're popping up all over the country, but Region 6 is really exploding with these. And so we counted it last week. There were at least 411 data centers in Texas alone. And just a few weeks ago, Google announced $40 billion in investment for 3 new data centers in West Texas and the Texas Panhandle. And then, as you know, there's several projects in Oklahoma, like Google's new data center in Stillwater and then the expansion in Pryor. I would love to see some growth in western Oklahoma on data centers, and who knows, maybe that'll happen. But in order to keep pace with this water demand that's going to be required, the EPA is considering a nationwide Clean Water Act Section 404 permit for these data centers that would eliminate pre-construction notification requirements for development sites. They require large amounts of 24/7 baseload energy, which our 5-state region certainly has, but we've got to explore this. And I also saw a few weeks ago, I believe it was Chevron had selected West Texas as a site for its first project to provide natural gas-fired power to a data center.
Right.
So know that at the end of the day, the EPA will absolutely do our part to ensure that these data centers and related facilities can be powered and operated in a clean manner, but with American-made energy. The good news here, Shawn, is that the conversation is definitely taking shape between the government and the private sector. The Ham Institute for American Energy in Oklahoma City has been leading the charge on this discussion from the private-public side. Having that discussion, they had a huge AI summit, I believe it was in April, in Oklahoma City, and you had multiple of President Trump's cabinet secretaries, including Administrator Zeldin, Secretary Burgum, USDA Secretary Brooke Rollins, DOE Secretary Chris Wright, all at this institute. I was there as well, where we were discussing just that. And so this discussion's taking shape. EPA's leading the charge on what we're going to have to do from the environmental side, but we've got to get ahead of this, and I think we're in a good spot now, but we have to keep our eyes on the goal.
Scott, we're out of time, man. I love our visits, dude. I really do, and I love what you're bringing to the EPA, and that is common sense and a ground roots approach. How can people find out more about what's going on in your office and the EPA as a whole?
No, I'm glad you brought that up. I would encourage folks to reach out to us, EPA.gov. You can also look us up at our EPA regional office. My regional office is in downtown Dallas. But follow us on social media, too, EPA South Central for all of our handles. That's on X, that's on Instagram, and Facebook as well. So EPA South Central, also known as EPA Region 6. But follow us. That way you know what's going on and how you can keep pace with how quickly we're moving in this administration.
Scott, again, man, keep fighting a good fight. And
we will.
I had one listener ask this: is the water reusable that data centers use, or is there no water left? I think it is reusable in some cases, right?
Yeah, in some cases, and that is. I'm glad you brought that up. That's an astute question. We are looking at just that, as how water reuse can be effective with data centers and, frankly, with other operations that would require it.
Perfect. Great answer, man. Scott, again, thank you so much, and we're glad to have you in a position where you are, because you give us a voice out here in western Oklahoma and in the South Central region. Scott Mason IV, thanks again, man. Merry Christmas to you and yours, man.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Shawn, to you and your family as well.
I look to having you on the show again, and I appreciate you coming back, for real. I do.
I look forward to it. It's always a pleasure. You keep up the good work and spreading the message, and have a great Christmas season, and I look forward to talking to you in the new year.
Fantastic. Give my best to Jenna, too, man. Appreciate you.
I sure will. I will. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Scott Mason IV, Regional Administrator of the EPA South Central Region. We're going to take a quick break and be back. Mop-up segment. My lovely assistant back in the house this morning with her little pink mic sock. That's all bedazzled. We'll be back with that and more right after this.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
Hi, I'm Mike Rowe, and it never fails. Every time I visit this state and talk to the folks in the energy business, I learn something world-changing. The technology here is bleeding edge, and so is the focus on the environment. As for the people, they're among the smartest, most innovative, most talented workers I've ever had the pleasure of meeting anywhere. They're busy keeping our modern life going. Not a bad career choice, if you ask me. See their stories at oerb.com/micro.
A public service announcement from Oklahoma Human Services. Hey, Oklahomans, did you know updating your SNAP food benefits info is a SNAP? Have you changed jobs or hours? Has your monthly cost of housing changed? Have your household members changed? Maybe you've recently moved. If you're a recipient of SNAP benefits in Oklahoma, visit okdhslive.org to update your information. That's okdhslive.org. It's a SNAP, Oklahoma.
Looking for the perfect venue for your next event? Look no further than the Frisco Center, located in the heart of western Oklahoma. Whether it's a stunning wedding, a joyful reception, a memorable birthday party, or a professional seminar, we've got you covered. With spacious rooms and exceptional service, Frisco Center is designed to make your special occasion unforgettable. Located at 101 South 4th Street in Clinton, Oklahoma. Call us today at 580-323-7874 to book your date. The Frisco Center, where every event is a reason to celebrate.
Hi, this is Shawn with Galleria Furniture. If you're looking for the best prices on dining sets, this is the time to shop. The Blake dining set is just $249. The Ashbourne Casual 5-piece counter height dining set is only $399. And if you want something cozy, you can even sit back in the Rowan set. Comfort and value all in one place. And don't forget, we have over 40 sets on the floor and available. Located in Elk City next to Tractor Supply, where friends don't let friends pay retail.
One of the computers here at the station was crashing, about to lose everything on it, and we didn't even know it. But Dennis knew because he was watching, and he warned us in time.
Hey Gabe, it's Dennis. Our system detected that one of your computers has a hard drive that's about to fail.
Which one?
It's Nathan's.
So what do I need to do?
Well, we probably need to get it in the shop and get the drive clone to a new machine before he loses any data off of it.
Do you have another computer in stock that we can just get it fixed real quick?
Sure, I've got some in stock. Just need to get it in, get it cloned over, and it'll be good to go.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dennis.
You bet, sounds good. See you.
ITL monitors our computers at Paragon Communications remotely, so Dennis Teal knows there's a problem before we even know it. He helped us save years' worth of valuable files. ITL's remote monitoring comes in very handy here at work. That kind of security system for your computers can keep your business running so you can keep making a living.
Catch me, Paragon News Director Jared Atha, with the latest local news at 5 p.m. every Monday through Friday. Presented by Mickey Lively, your Farm Bureau agent in Greer County.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
And welcome back, everyone. It's our mop-up segment on the Finally Friday edition of the Exploring Energy Radio Show. Really enjoyed my visit with Scott Mason, with the EPA Southern Region Administrator. Good guy. Show brought to you in part by ASCO Equipment. ASCO Equipment, 513 West 20th Street, right here in Elk City. You can get a hold of Jeremy Bridgman. He's the branch manager. 323-3422. Equipment sales, ask for Bart Shields. Equipment rental, ask for E.J. Gredeman. Anybody can help you, but those two guys are kind of in charge of those divisions. If you're looking for heavy equipment for sale or rent, their new and pre-owned construction equipment fits your needs and your budget. ASCO is the leading provider for the Oklahoma construction, ag, and energy sectors, proudly serving this area and all their areas with construction equipment like tractors, backhoes, wheel loaders, cranes, dozers, excavators, forklifts, pavers, skid steers, compactors, CTL, and more. 27 locations. They got what you need. They also got a service department with over 200 factory-trained service technicians, 140 field service trucks that can go out in the field, latest repair and diagnostic tools right on board. They'll service any piece of equipment, any brand, no matter where or when you bought it. ASCO Equipment, 513 West 20th Street in Elk City. Again, you can call them at 323-3422 or online at ASCOEQ, ASCOEQ.com. If your power goes out at midnight, you can call Carter Electric. They provide 24-hour emergency electrical service on your side of the meter. They're your weather sponsor for today. Want to make sure the power stays on regardless of the weather? Well, Carter Electric is an authorized Generac generator dealer. Number one name in home and business generation, Generac. Kervin and Mary Orgain, they're the owners. They're the ones that help you see the light of day even at night. And a lot of electric work goes on overhead. That's why Carter Electric has pole trucks, man lifts to get way up high if there's a problem up there. Licensed, insured, trusted. It's Carter Electric. You can call them at 225-2447, 225-2447. Tell them we sent you. And we have got this hour's weather forecast. TJ, you're back. Thanks for being here. You bet. What do you got over there as far as weather, young lady?
This morning we have areas of dense fog before 10 a.m., patchy freezing fog before 10 a.m., so be careful on the roads out there.
Mm-hmm.
This afternoon will be mostly sunny with a high near 50, southwest wind 3 to 8 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 27, calm wind becoming north around 5 miles per hour in the evening. Saturday, sunny with a high near 55, north-northwest wind 5 to 14 miles per hour, becoming south in the afternoon. Winds could gust as high as 21. Sunday, sunny with a high near 49, north wind 8 to 14 miles per hour with gusts as high as 21. Monday, sunny with a high near 50. Tuesday, sunny with a high near 63. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 60. And Thursday, sunny with a high near 60.
60s will be coming back.
I'm ready.
That's good news. Especially if those of us like to go play a little pasture pool, little golf, you know. Energy news in my briefs. We just talked to EPA South Central Regional Director Scott Mason. He brought this up. But the Trump administration rolled back fuel economy rules that he claimed created an EV mandate. After former President Joe Brandon imposed stricter fuel economy standards last year, Trump said the administration was officially terminating Brandon's ridiculous CAFE rules, claiming car prices would come down in response to today's action. The U.S. federal government is considering further steps to speed up the the build out of liquefied natural gas export infrastructure as flows of natural gas to LNG plants hits a record high. Experts are also running at an all-time high. The administration announced plans to reconsider and seek comments on a rule that would reduce silica exposure limits for miners. The rule aims to address rising black lung disease among young miners, but mining companies and trade groups are challenging it in court. Republican Congress members from North Dakota introduced legislation aiming to prevent red state ratepayers from covering costs tied to major transmission projects driven by Democratic-led states' climate policies. New England oil-fired plants face market pressure. Aging oil-fired power plants in New England face financial challenges in a shifting energy market, but may still need to remain online to meet rising power demand. And the Brandon administration asked a judge to allow reconsideration of a key approval for New England wind, a project scheduled to begin construction off the Massachusetts coast in 2026. The federal government seeks review of the New England wind approval that Brandon gave. Asset manager Blackstone approved financing for construction of a $1.2 billion, 625 megawatt gas-fired power plant in West Virginia. Earth Justice and other advocacy groups are considering legal challenges related to data center expansion and the Trump administration's efforts to override state powers, including orders that keep coal-fired power plants open. A $10 billion data center project backed by the family of Georgia's lieutenant governor would be one of the largest ever built and could more than triple the water usage of the county where it's planned. Few additional details have been released. Anyway, Russian President Vladimir Putin will visit India this week for a summit focused on strengthening economic, defense, and energy relationships, testing New Delhi's balancing act between Moscow and Washington during the ongoing war in Ukraine. How you doing over there as far as your energy stock prices of local interest?
It's not bad.
Okay.
It's not. Yeah.
Let's get some green going over there.
Well, there's a few red, but American Electric Power is down 25 cents, trading at $117.80. Apache is up 33 cents, $27.04. Baker Hughes is down 8 cents at $50.53. ConocoPhillips is up 25 cents at $93.39. Devon Energy is up 43 cents at $38.13. EOG Resources is up 71 cents at $112.88. Expand Energy is up $3.71 at $125.80. General Electric is down $4.17 at $287.72. Halliburton is up 32 cents at $28.16. Helmerich & Payne is up 1 cent at $30.09. Liberty Energy is down 5 cents at $19.67. Occidental Petroleum is up 15 cents at $42.81. OG&E Energy is down 1 cent at $43.46. One Oak is up 31 cents at $76.46. Phillips 66 is up $1.01 at $140.47. Sandridge Energy is up 39 cents at $15.47. Schlumberger is up 40 cents at $38.55. And Williams Companies is down 39 cents, trading at $63.27.
Whew, you go, girl. Yeah, Butch Black, I got my mic fixed. Funny how you need that red button on. Yikes. Anyway, Paragon TV got some games tonight. Cheyenne Raiden at Sayre, that's a 6 p.m. start. Merritt at Canute, 6 p.m. start. Burns Flood, Dill City, Arapahoe, Butler, that's 6:30. Leedy in Buffalo at 6:30. Sentinel and Howlett at Hobart, also at 6:30. And then Eric at Indiahoma, that's girls only. You can watch Paragon TV. You can watch the classics 24/7 for free. And you can watch Paragon TV for a little cost of $9.99 a month. And that's all 8 schools, including our newest school, Sentinel. Their archives and their live broadcast. Elkcats play today at 5 on Big Elk TV. Won both their games yesterday. So did the JV win yesterday, Elk City JV. So things going well over for the girls in the children's tournament. They play at 5 p.m. today on BigElkTV.com. On behalf of all of our great sponsors, and again, thank you to Scott Mason, the 4th EPA Regional Administrator, for being on our show this morning. For TJ, I'm Shawn Wilson. Thanks so much for listening. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Have a great day.
There's a good mix of music. Really good music.
Let's go. is KECO, Elk City.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Blockbuster, $72 billion entertainment deal to media company that delivered the Superman and Harry Potter franchises being sold to a streaming giant. Netflix agrees to buy Warner Brothers Discovery's TV